Welcome to Progressive E. This is our review on the 4MF body kit for your Sur-Ron. So first off, I'll talk about basically the looks of the kit. So looks are obviously pretty subjective. This kit was supplied to us by EBMX with a custom decal, so thanks EBMX for that one. Basically, without the decal, I think it looks like you fitted a mini skirt to your Sur-Ron, and I wasn't totally convinced on the looks. I did try ride the kit a few times without the graphics, and it's just really slippery. The other thing I've added as well, which probably it's not really part of the looks and it's probably more function than form, but is basically added these grips on top of the decals. This just kind of gives me more grip with my boot to the bike. But I think it looks pretty good, and I think if you had a whole decal for the entire bike, which I don't, I think it would match in and look pretty good. So probably seconds that we'll talk about now will be build quality. So basically the kit, for a plastic kit, it's plastic. It's kind of what you'd expect. So we've actually fitted this kit with we have a 72 volt EBMX battery underneath this, and it does fit. So we had to modify the cover in here, and also heated the sides of this as well and tried to mold it around the battery, and that did work fairly well. One thing to kind of point out is you probably can't see, but there's a gap that runs along this section. And I originally thought this was from the battery fitment, just trying to fit that bigger battery in. But even with the battery out and before heating and trying to mold this section, it does actually have a natural bit of a gap here. And I suppose that's kind of the tolerance thing. There's going to be differences between these Sur-Rons and also how you put it together as well. But aside from that, it does feel fairly solid. It is a well-built kit for what it is. Yeah, so I think I like it. I like how it looks. I'll just kind of investigate getting a wrap for the lower part of the bike that kind of matches it in. The next thing I'll talk about will be the riding section. So basically, one of the biggest advantages of this kit is just having grip on the bike where you didn't have it and having a longer seat. You don't realize if you're riding trails and you're riding, I suppose, like this bike as a dirt bike application, how much having this longer seat actually matters and having this added grip from the bike. So basically, one of the things I first noticed when I jumped on it, just having this extra width here is really important because your knees can grip up here when you're further up on the bike. And same way with having just the full travel. I was worried because I'm not a tall rider, I'm almost 6 foot, that this was going to be a little bit too tall, but it made no difference to my current setup and kind of how my feet basically sit on the ground with this setup. So the grip, as you'll come around corners, the first thing you notice is as your leg comes up, you've got somewhere nice for your leg to sit when you're going around a corner, you're trying to balance yourself. You'll notice when you're doing jumps as well, that you can just kind of grip here and actually hold the bike where you need it. I do think it's an upgrade and I do think it's worth doing. One thing I will note as far as like practicality of it, this seat is basically like a lump of concrete. Like my ass cheeks were after riding this, and when you sit down this for a long time, I don't think this would be good for a comfortable ride. But most of the time you're kind of on and off the bike and it's not something you really notice. Having the kit for only a short period of time, so I've probably had it for about 4 weeks now. I've actually got some rips on the seat already, so whatever this seat is made out of is probably not super high quality. So maybe look at probably getting a cover for this, or even getting it kind of reupholstered leather, which is kind of a bit sad because it is quite an expensive kit. So I guess it would be nice if it come with a more heavy duty seat. But yeah, that's pretty much the overview of the kit. And yeah, thanks for watching Progressive E.